She had nurtured him as if he were her own flesh and blood. She had given up everything for his family. But when the billionaire came home, he found his longtime caretaker, once his solace, racing through the streets wrapped in nothing but a towel. The neighbors gossiped, his lover smiled smugly, and then Beatrice, her eyes heavy with betrayal, asked him the one question that shattered everything. "Did you ever love me?" His response left everyone speechless. Before we dive deeper, let us know in the comments what time it is and where you're watching from. Also, don't forget to strike that like and subscribe button. Let's begin. Beatrice James had lived her life in service to others. Now at 68, her silver hair and weathered hands told the story of countless years spent scrubbing floors, ironing clothes, and preparing meals that were never hers to enjoy. But inside Nicholas Cole's mansion, Beatrice had been more than just a servant. She had been his mother. When his parents were too busy attending galas, Beatrice had soothed him to sleep. When his father belittled him, telling him he wasn't strong enough, Beatrice's words were the only comfort he knew. She'd been the one to nurse him back to health with homemade soup when illness had him bedridden. To young Nicholas, she had been the closest thing to love. But that was before. Now Nicholas was 35, a billionaire with a heart encased in ice and walls too high to scale. He barely spoke to Beatrice anymore, and when he did, it was always with cold orders. "Beatrice, polish the banister. Beatrice, the guests arrive at 6. The tenderness she had once shown him had been swallowed up by his arrogance and emotional distance. And then Isabella Lane entered the picture. She was everything Beatrice was not: youthful, ambitious, and calculating. To Nicholas, she was the epitome of sophistication. To Beatrice, she was a toxin, slowly seeping into the space Beatrice had once filled. From the moment Isabella stepped foot in the house, she made it clear she had no respect for Beatrice. Why is she still here? Isabella had sneered the first week, tossing her expensive heels onto the floor, making Beatrice pick them up. This is a billionaire's home, not a retirement home. Nicholas didn't say a word to defend her. He said nothing when Isabella made it obvious how she felt. And so, the cruelty only grew sharper. Every morning, Beatrice braced herself for Isabella's words, each one cutting deeper than the last. "Beatrice, you're too slow. Maybe you should retire before you fall over from exhaustion. Who wants to see an old face handing out drinks?" The other staff turned a blind eye, leaving Beatrice to endure it alone. She kept her head down, swallowing her dignity as she always had, but inside, her heart shattered. Nicholas, her Nicholas, stood by in silence, never lifting a finger. But the worst was yet to come. Beatrice's quarters were falling apart. The plumbing was ancient, the pipes constantly groaning through the walls. She begged for help. "Miss Isabella, the water is leaking. It's dangerous. Please, can you fix it?" But Isabella only laughed in her face. "Leave then. If the pipes are bothering you so much, maybe it's time to go back where you came from. We don't need dead weight around here." The estate manager, ever obedient, ignored her pleas, and the leaks only grew worse. For weeks, Beatrice lived in constant fear, wondering when the walls would finally cave in. The day came with a roar. Beatrice had just finished washing up when the pipe exploded, sending a torrent of scalding water across the room. The steam was blinding, the light bulb above burst into sparks, and Beatrice screamed, clutching a thin towel to her chest. "Help!" she screamed, but her voice was swallowed by the emptiness. No one came. What happened next? You won't believe it. Stay tuned. She stumbled down the hallway, her bare feet sliding across the wet tiles, gripping the towel around her like a shield. At the end of the hall, Isabella appeared, grinning. Well, she sneered, her voice thick with mockery. "Look at you, half-dressed and running around like a lunatic. Maybe you should take a walk outside. Let the neighbors get a good look. It's all you're good for now." Beatrice's lips quivered. "Please don't." But Isabella stepped closer, eyes glittering with malice. "What? Embarrassed? Maybe if Nicholas sees you like this, he'll finally see how worthless you are." She moved in closer, her words dripping with contempt. "Go on, show everyone what an old maid looks like." Beatrice shook her head, tears spilling freely. "Why are you doing this to me? I gave my life to this house. I raised him. Isabella's laughter cut through her, sharp and cruel. Don't fool yourself. You're just an old servant who's overstayed her welcome. Her words stung worse than the boiling water ever could. Beatrice's heart pounded in her chest. For weeks she had endured Isabella's taunts, holding on to the hope that Nicholas would see through it all. But he hadn't. Stripped of everything, wrapped only in a towel, she couldn't take it anymore. She ran, her feet pounding across the gravel, each step in agony. The air in her lungs burned, and every whisper from the neighbors felt like another weight on her soul. Is that Nicholas Cole's maid? What's she doing out there half naked? She heard the murmurs, saw the phones clicking. Her face burned with humiliation. She gripped the towel tighter. Not like this, please, not like this. And then she saw him. Nicholas Cole, stepping out of his sleek car, his navy suit impeccable, his polished shoes clicking against the pavement. He froze when he saw her, his sharp eyes wide with disbelief. Beatrice? He whispered, voice hoarse. She staggered, her gray hair clinging to her tear-streaked face. Behind her, Isabella stood, arms crossed, a smug smirk playing on her lips. What would Nicholas do now? Stay tuned. The world seemed to pause. Nicholas's jaw clenched, his pride surging to the surface. How could the woman who had once rocked him to sleep, who had been his comfort in childhood, now stand before him, broken and exposed in front of the entire neighborhood? But beneath that anger, something else flickered. He remembered the way she held him when his parents were too busy, her soft voice lulling him to sleep, and her hand, rough with age, wiping away his feverish sweat when no one else cared. And now she was here, humiliated, wrapped in nothing but a towel as strangers stared. Nicholas stood frozen, the image searing itself into his mind. Beatrice? He whispered, his voice barely audible. Her chest heaved, tears streaking down her face. She shook her head, clutching the towel tighter. Don't say my name like that, she murmured, her voice raw. Not after everything. Not after you let her do this to me. He blinked, confusion washing over him. Her? Beatrice's trembling finger pointed back toward the mansion. There in the doorway stood Isabella, a cruel smirk playing on her lips. She tormented me for weeks, Beatrice choked out. Every day she made me feel worthless. She told me I was too old, too ugly, too useless. When I begged for help with the pipes, she laughed in my face. She said I was nothing. And you, Nicholas, you just watched. Her voice broke. You said nothing. The neighbors whispered from their lawns, eyes fixed on them. Nicholas's throat tightened as guilt flooded in. For once his pride couldn't protect him. Beatrice, he murmured, stepping closer. I didn't know it was this bad. Her eyes, full of fire and pain, locked onto his. Did you ever care about me, Nicholas? She asked, her voice trembling. Or was I just a servant to you? A shadow you could forget? The question hit him like a blow. His jaw tightened, the weight of years pressing on his chest. Yes, he finally said, the word sharp. Then softer, yes, I cared. Beatrice flinched, disbelief flashing across her face. Don't lie to me. He shook his head, his voice cracking in a way it never had in any boardroom. I cared, Beatrice. Always. I couldn't show it. I wasn't allowed to. In this world, men like me are supposed to be cold, distant. But that doesn't mean I didn't care. His eyes glistened as he continued. Do you think I forgot who held me when I was sick? Who stayed up with me when I cried? Who taught me to tie my shoes when no one else bothered? That was you. Always you. For a moment, the towel, the humiliation, the eyes of the neighbors all disappeared. It was just her and the boy she had raised. Then why? She whispered. Why did you let her do this to me? Nicholas turned to Isabella, his glare scorching. The smirk slipped from her face as she realized she had gone too far. Isabella, he growled, his voice booming now. Get out. Isabella stiffened. What? You heard me, he snapped. Get out of my house. You will never speak to her again. Never set foot in this home again. Her face drained of color, but she tried to protest. Nicholas's glare silenced her. With a scoff, she stormed off, the door slamming behind her. The street fell silent. Beatrice's tears flowed, but they were mixed with relief. Nicholas turned back to her, his voice softer now. "I failed you," he said. "I stood silent when I should have stood for you. But not anymore." Her body shook, exhaustion weighing her down. I can't do this anymore, Nicholas. I'm old. I've given everything I had." He stepped closer, his hand hovering near her shoulder, hesitant to touch. "Then stop giving. Let me take care of you now. You're not just a maid. You never were. You're family." The words shattered something deep inside her. She broke down, her sobs muffled in her hands. For the first time in years, Nicholas reached out and held her, just as he had when he was a child. The neighbors, silent now, no longer gossiped. They watched in awe as the billionaire who had always kept his emotions hidden, stood in the street, crying on the shoulder of the woman who had once been his only source of love. When Nicholas pulled away, his voice was firm. "Come inside. Not to that room. The main house. You won't live there anymore. From now on you live with dignity. The way you should have all along." Beatrice met his eyes, seeing the boy she had raised beneath the walls of the man he had become. Slowly she nodded. Her tears, once filled with despair, now carried release. Nicholas led her back toward the house, his arms steady around her. The neighbors' whispers faded into the distance. The mansion no longer seemed cold and distant. For the first time, it felt like a place where truth had broken through. And as the door closed behind them, Beatrice knew Nicholas hadn't forgotten her after all. Do you believe Nicholas's transformation was genuine, or was it just guilt driving him? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe for more heart-wrenching stories where truth and struggle collide. Your opinion matters. Your voice matters. Be part of the journey.